Between my sophomore and junior year at Muskingum, I went to Kenya for 4 weeks. And what I did was I lived in a conservation there, very close to the Masai Mara. And I lived in a tent for 4 weeks, kind of in the middle of the conservatory. But it was a 4-week volunteer program where we basically did like citizen science sort of thing. We tracked a bunch of target species, which my project was mainly big cats, so like lions, leopards, and cheetahs. I was lucky enough to be there kind of when the wildebeest were migrating back into the Masai Mara, so I got a lot of good pictures and saw that, the single file lines and things like that, which was really cool. The study abroad impacted my Muskingum experience by really opening me up to what's available with my degree. Being able to travel overseas and see what other people are doing, and also meet some of the other volunteers and figure out, what jobs are you guys doing that you would end up here. So it really broadened my horizons about what I can achieve with the degree that I'm going to get, and kind of give me some experience that I can put on my resume that makes it a little bit easier to get that next experience as well. I made the investment, I bought myself a camera because it was something I was interested in, and I was able to grow something outside of what I was studying. It's just like a hobby, and I got some amazing photos and can actually use that and come back to it in my career and be able to use photography to share the stories about the animals or whatever I'll be working with. I would tell first-year students about study abroad to definitely just go ask about it. Even if you don't think that there's anything there for you, if you ask Valerie Smith, she's amazing, what is available. If you find an opportunity that Muskingum hasn't directly offered and you think that you want to go there, our campus and Valerie Smith in particular was able to find me, scholarship money, and was able to help me with applying for some of that and help me manage it, as well as just get me ready to go overseas, find me visas and where to get vaccinations and things like that. My overall takeaway is just ask, and if you don't find anything, that doesn't need to stop you. You can still go find it on your own and then come back and ask again, and it doesn't need to be one single path that you have to take. But.
I have been able to do a couple internships off campus. I worked at a nonprofit clinic near where I live, and I did a lot of help with the at-risk community, people who have like cardiovascular disease and stuff like that, and provide them with fresh produce, which we got from a local garden. My next one I worked with WVU in the pediatrics department, and we did study with maternal health and what happens with the outcome of the child. So if the mother was exposed to like cannabis, any sort of opioids, like just tobacco, we track that, and then that's what we tied to the outcomes. And what's really cool is that work finally just got published into the pediatric journal. And then my most recent internship I had was at the University of Virginia. I did research in the molecular biology department, working with prostate cancer cells and looking at how this certain drug affects their growth. And so I just loved it, and Muskingum gave me all these opportunities. These internships, especially my West Virginia University one, I really like that med school, and so it's really gonna help me show them when I apply, I am dedicated to research, but also how it affects others. And to me, being a physician, that's what I'm going to be looking forward to, helping others, but through certain lenses. And so being able to show I have this experience, I care, I work hard, I think that definitely makes me a better person in their eyes.
I participated in an English internship, which I did in a museum. It's a very small museum just in my hometown. It was a very cool experience for me. My grandpa helped found the museum. They didn't have a setup internship or anything, so it was kind of one that I created with the help of my advisor. But it was very nice to have that kind of personal connection. I think this will bring a lot of value for me. I think it gave me a lot of great experience with what it will be like dealing with an employer, with having some days that are boring and I'm just waiting to go home, but some days where it's so fun, and I would go back and do it 10 times over again. I cataloged all the documents in the museum, everything. So That was kind of a tedious process, but like I said, my grandpa helped found the museum, so I got to see a lot of things that have a very personal connection. I think I would want to tell a first-year student that you need to look into it, that there's no reason not to. It can only add to your experience here, and there's so many different availabilities for internships in whatever area they live in, or if they want to go somewhere further away. And I think it's just really great practical experience that's better than what you can get in the classroom.
While at Muskingum, I have participated in research with my advisor, Colleen Stevenson. We are currently working on a project that involves family tethering and how students here are related and how much they miss their family while they're at school. And this also is going to help Muskingum see retention rates, so see who comes back and who decides to transfer out. It's definitely opened a lot of doors for me at Muskingum. I've made new connections with the faculty members. I've gotten to know them on a personal level. It's also opened the door for me to present my research at other conferences and stuff like that, to then make even more connections with other people outside of Muskingum in the psychology field. I think it definitely shows that I'll be involved and that I really want to get ahead in the field, that I'm committed to making sure that I stand out when I'm applying for jobs, which will evidently help me in the future when I'm looking to start my career. I would tell first-year students that if they're considering research, to consider getting involved even if it's not something that they're particularly interested in that field. I personally don't want to be kind of a child family studies psychologist, but it's still opening doors for me, and I'm still learning a lot and getting that experience that will still help me further along in my career.
So civic engagement means to me being involved with your community on a higher level than just existing in your community. You want to be able to give back and involve yourself and others in the way that the community works, and getting people involved in voting and things involved with the government, and really having your voice and others matter in government decisions, because in the end, those do affect you. In relationship to civic engagement here at Muskingum, I am a part of the John and Annie Glenn Fellows Program. So through that, I've had a lot of opportunities to participate in community service and civic engagement. A couple of those being, I was a project manager for the Women's History Month book drive, where we collected a bunch of books for children, for elementary school age children. Books about women's history and women in science, women in different fields, just to inspire young girls to, achieve their highest levels of standards, that they can go far. And so we collected over 100 books and delivered those to elementary schools in Muskingum County. These activities that I've participated in have definitely impacted my experience here. One, because I get to meet so many new people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. But overall, I think it has made me a more well-rounded person, and getting to have these experiences, because that adds something else I can talk about when I'm interviewing for potential internships or jobs. It's a really interesting part of my career here at Muskingum that future employers maybe that makes me stand out to them and they want to talk more about, and makes them remember me. First-year students should know about civic engagement, that even though they are first-year students, there are so many opportunities, and maybe they think in their head that only seniors get these opportunities, or juniors, or people who have a lot more credits than me. Really, anybody could get involved, and it's just about finding that group that could help you get there. Personally, for me, I found my civic engagement process through the Fellows Program, and I am in Greek life, so that's been a good gateway to me to open to community service and civic engagement. But if those aren't your things, there's plenty of other clubs that could do that. You just gotta find your little pathway into it, and the opportunities will likely just fall into your hands.
I was an RA my sophomore year, and then I was promoted to a head RA my junior year. That's kind of how I kind of started my leadership. I also became a Muskie Preview leader for my sophomore year, and then I was then promoted to Muskie Preview coordinator my junior and my senior year. I joined Delta Gamma Theta, which is one of our local sororities on campus, and I was the assistant treasurer as well as the president. And now that I'm graduating this year, I know that those skills are very marketable and valuable. Coming here, I was anxious, and coming from Columbus, it's a big city to a much smaller area, and so I had a large adjustment period. I had kind of a rough first year because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to find my place here. And I was finding opportunities. I was trying to blossom and go out of my comfort zone a lot. And those skills that I've learned, communication, time management, I wouldn't be the person I am today without those experiences. I learned how to do conflict management, and I found a lot of joy in problem solving and helping people and comforting them when they're having a hard time. And I know that those are skills that I'll be able to use in either of my potential future careers. One thing that I'd like to tell students about leadership is get involved in any way you can, big or small, whether it's just starting in a club and working your way up into an organization and a campus job. Any of those experiences can be beneficial and can help them grow and learn as a Muskie. And that's what I love about our campus is we really encourage students to get out there and get involved in any way that they can, and it all matters.